Hello, everybody. David Feldman-Makrias back with you, and I want to go over today what a top-tier advertising service looks like. Okay. When we think of advertising services as business, we think about doing marketing things, whether it's online or traditional or paid social media or whatever it is, to generate results, whatever those results are, phone calls, leads, business sales, business outcomes, whatever you define. Okay. Now, that's the tangible, that's the actual value. But I also want to talk about the perceived value. What's the perception of value, right? And some people may have a negative connotation with the word perception, but it's really how do you perceive that you're getting the value for what you're paying for as well? Because I'm going to tell you, working with so many different businesses, so many different types of advertising over the years, nearly decade, it really, you're not going to hit a home run every time. Each business you work with isn't going to hit a home run every time. Each job that you have isn't going to hit a home run every time. So a lot of it depends upon the relationship that you have with whoever's doing your business and relationships in general. So I want to show you exactly what a top tier advertising service looks like in that frame as we move forward. So let's look at an actual example of what I'm talking about. And this is a quick text message conversation, but I think it helps quickly illustrate what the value is demonstrated. So, text from client, hey, good morning, David. Are we still running those ads? This client actually doesn't, they're not as knowledgeable on the ad platforms yet. We're getting there, and education's always a part of the process. So, you kind of have to infer what they're really meaning. I know I'm doing Google ads for them, and that's what I mentioned. Hi, yes, that's correct. We're still running them. They go, we're not showing up anymore. No follow up, just a statement. We're not showing up anymore. Interesting. Then I get a text from another person in this business. Hey, good morning. Happy New Year, David, for you and your family. Many blessings. Please check David. They have been no business this month. Okay. So that part, there's been no business this month. Interesting. So they immediately want to go, well, you're the advertising company. We don't have any business. It's on you. You have to control the emotion, right? You have to respond objectively. And you have to go, okay. So then what I do is I pull up some screenshots of ads. These are ads I just pulled up, right? Above are two example searches of ads showing up in the last few minutes near your location. Also, I showed just under 10 phone calls / leads this month, January 1st through 8th. How are those phone calls doing? So I objectively stated, hey, I responded immediately practically. So the response time was great. Doesn't show that in here, but the response time is quick. They had my response within minutes, right? A lot of when you think of business communication, you think of email, but things have become so informalized. I wanted to show it over text because I often text all the time as far as closing deals or solving problems or getting ads online or whatever. Text message is just natural for everybody and it's super personal, right? So I find it best to do that rather than log in some portal or some project management system and try and get a client to learn that. Sometimes it's better to just integrate on a platform that they're already really well familiar with. So in minutes, I respond back with two ads and I objectively state above are two example searches of ads I show up in the last few minutes near you. So I just popped his bubble there because they don't really know what searches, they don't really know what search terms or remember what search terms they're out there for. And that was the continuation of the conversation. We're out there for this and this and this and this. Do we need to be? Is that what you want to be? Blah, 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 blah. So I wrote above are two example searches of ads showing up in the last few minutes near you. Also, I show 10 phone calls leads this month only. How are those phone calls? So I put it back on them, right? And this isn't like a power play. And it's not exactly what I'm trying to illustrate. What I'm trying to illustrate is that the informal communication is good. The speed of communication is really, really paramount. You want to make sure you get back to them quickly, right? And you have a good exchange. You want to not try to you got to be likable, right? But you also can't just be walked on. I could easily be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Let me check this out right now. My apologies. Da, 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 da. I don't want to do that. Sometimes less is better. Actually, most of the time, less is better. Hi, yes, that's correct. We're still running them. And then I'm waiting for his comment. We're not showing up anymore. And then I have the other person, please check. No business. Okay. So when I do this, I show the above are two examples from minutes near you. Also, I showed 10 phone calls this month. What'd you do on them? It's a nice little, hey, you're accountable too. I can provide opportunities based on the strategy, but I can't necessarily make your business happen for you. If there's a market trend that it's slower in January compared to other months, well, guess what? Me pushing as many ads as I want, hundreds of thousands of dollars, may not make a difference on Google or on any platform. You can't really make a market. Like, toilet paper companies are never going to sell as many toilet papers in a short span of time as they did during COVID because it made the market, right? So that communication is really key, but you also have to be really sensitive for people. You don't want to call them out. You don't want to say that they're wrong. You want to be as objective as possible, factual as possible, use as little words as possible too, and then gently say and guide them and say, hey, what about this? This is just, the right type of advertising service. Because within minutes, I responded. In minutes. The more replies, I immediately searched for the ad, found the ad, put a picture, showed them the search, where the ad shows, what it looks like, all the things. So I immediately demonstrated the actual value. And then I also check them and say, wait a minute, you got a lot of phone calls. What happened to those? But I'm willing to hear all those phone calls aren't good. Oh, they're not good, huh? Really? Okay. Well, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to put some call recording on those phone calls and see kind of what the quality is, because maybe we need to fix that, or maybe we need to measure that a little bit different. And it's a polite little, hey, I know what I'm doing here, but I'm willing to work with you and I want to be objective, right? It's a relationship dynamic. So this is a nice little snapshot, I think, that of something I see every day, all the time. And you just get inundated with these things, but not everybody knows exactly what that means or how to actually proceed forward with that. And I wanted to show a nice example, because an advertising service for any business or person watching this should be objective. It should be quick. You should get responses super quick. The conversation, I think, most of the time should be informal, because that's how a lot of businesses run these days, informalities, right? There shouldn't be all these, project management systems and trying to log into different portals and things like that. It should happen. It should happen more congruently and integrated with how we live life. So that's a nice little example. I hope this helps. I'd love to hear your comments. Let me know in the comments what you thought. And David Feldman-Makrias, and I'll talk to you real soon.